If there was one day for people to come together and stand up against social injustice, this was the day. Those of you against the protest, look, I get it. You have the right to express how you feel, the same way athletes have the right to express theirs. It's all in the First Amendment, people. Now, yes, there are consequences for your actions, but I believe we should all take a closer look at the reason why players are taking action. Racism, hate, police brutality, all that is real. It really happens. Shoot, it happened to me. Do I think it's cool for a police officer to tell me, get out of the car, get effed up? No. However, I still got effed up. What's amazing to me is how they treated me differently and dismissed the ticket after they realized what I did for a living. Why does a young man have to be a sports anchor to be treated differently in the first place? I was lucky that night. Philando Castile, Eric Gardner, and many more, they weren't. Our country was built on protests and fighting for what we feel is right. It's not like athletes are rioting and killing people. They are only trying to deliver a message that something needs to change. So ask yourself this. If we as a country could come together and save at least one life from social injustice, wouldn't that be a change for the better? The entire clip is posted on our Facebook page, but hundreds of you already commented on the post, and I feel like it's been pretty even. I had one viewer agree with me, and another one said, F you. Here are a few other comments. Kathy Connor says, you stand for soldiers. They are fighting to give us life, but the NFL disrespected by kneeling today. Disgrace. Now, Kathy, thank you for your comment. I respect the military 100%. My dad was a Marine, brother, the Army, and my nephew just buried him a few months ago while serving for the Air Force in South Korea. However, during the Cowboys game last night, Jerry Jones and his team took a knee before the anthem and still got booed. If kneeling before the anthem also gets you booed, was the opposition to kneeling really ever about the anthem? How about Barbara Bailey? She says, can the media stop? Just stop reporting on useless topics. Can you report about what's going on in Puerto Rico? Well, Barbara, I think we should keep reporting on both. There are two similarities between what the protesters are fighting for and what's going on in Puerto Rico. That's people suffering and people dying. Lastly, Eric Johnson says, do you protest at work, Mr. Sports Guy? Well, Eric, this sports guy does not protest at work, but yes, I can, but I have to suffer the consequences just like the NFL players. However, this past weekend, some of the owners, who are the bosses of these NFL teams, were right down on the field locking arms with their players. I feel like it's kind of hard now to fire an employee if the boss is doing the same thing. That's my take.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is taking a stand about players taking a knee, and you've had a lot to say about this on social media, so we asked Sports Director Darren Haynes for his take.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell made it clear he wants players to stand during the national anthem. Goodell's plan to move past the ongoing debate about players' protests was written in a letter to all 32 NFL teams. Part of the commissioner's letter stated, it would include such elements as an in-season platform to promote the work of the players on these core issues. The issue will be discussed and likely acted upon next week during the NFL's fall meetings. So my one word for all of this is walk. What should we really expect league owners to do if they want to support the true reason why players are protesting? We've seen the NFL fight social issues before. Just go back to the 1980s. Martin Luther King Day is an Arizona holiday thanks to the NFL. At first, the state didn't want to recognize MLK Day until the NFL said, no holiday, no Super Bowl in Arizona. Things changed quickly during the next election. Arizona changed the law, and they got Super Bowl 30. So that's why my one word is walk. If Roger Goodell just did the talk, it's the NFL's turn now to do the walk. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton held his weekly media press conference, and you got to hear how he answered one reporter's question.
Cam, I know you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
Well, first of all, Cameron Jarrell Newton, she's a woman, and she deserves the same respect as every man in this business. Unfortunately, sexism happens more than people think. The reporter, Jordan Rodriguez, she tweeted after, quote, I didn't think it was funny. I think it was my job. Well, Jordan, it is your job, and it's not funny. I played ball for 18 years, and I guarantee 90% of my male coaches couldn't run a route to save their lives. However, my coaches knew the game, just like many women reporters. They all know sports. We have plenty here in D.C., our own Diane Roberts, Candace Buckner with the Washington Post. How about Liz Clark, who's a Redskins beat writer with the Post? That's just a few. I read and listen to their work every single day, and these women right here know what they're talking about. In a Panthers statement, Cam expressed regret for using those words, yet there was no apology. There's no reason to assume that a football reporter doesn't understand routes or that knowing about any sport, period, is dependent upon that reporter being a man or a woman. This is just another barrier in sports that women face daily. Cam, man to man, what you said, it's not cool. 25 players suspended one game for this fight between Eastern and Woodson High School. As much as it stinks, the suspension was the right decision. Now, I've watched this video probably about 20 plus times, people. I saw players get stomped out, punches thrown at players and coaches. It wasn't cool. Was there a late hit on that Woodson player? Yeah, you dang on right there was. The problem is he retaliated and then all hell broke loose. Eastern's season is over, so their suspension will start next season. Woodson, however, is set to play in the Turkey Bowl, short 18 players. I went through the same thing in high school. Someone started with me, and I retaliated back. I was suspended too. I can remember it like it was yesterday, sitting at home while my team competed, and it sucked. But now I'm thankful. I never got into another fight after that. I learned my lesson, my mindset changed, and I ended up accepting a Division I scholarship to play football. Woodson fans and players, you have a Turkey Bowl title to play for next week. I know you hate this decision, but I guarantee those 18 suspended players will become better men because of it.